They wait for hours and sometimes their relatives don't arrive. It's harder now for Syrians to enter Lebanon. This is the main border checkpoint between the two countries. Just a few weeks ago, 15,000 people used to cross back and forth every day. The number has dropped significantly. The government in Lebanon has imposed stricter conditions because it can no longer cope. It says only those who have a humanitarian reason or those escaping fighting can enter, but there doesn't seem to be a clear policy.
In practice, at the time, what we were hearing was arbitrary policies by General Security, the security agency in charge of the borders, and ironically letting in those who looked like they were just coming for the weekend and were not desperate or humanitarian cases.
It is hard to independently confirm this when we are denied access to the immigration office. Syrians who do cross are scared to speak openly, but privately they tell you about the difficulties and what some call discriminatory treatment. This family wanted to go to Syria for a visit, but if they did, the Lebanese authorities told them they would never be able to come back. So they didn't go. Officials say a person who goes back and forth won't be considered a displaced person. A local official justified these measures, particularly after some Syrians were involved in attacks and bombings in Lebanon.
Lebanon is under a lot of pressure. We can't absorb more people. It has been 4 years. Now, for example, men in their 20s are not allowed in because of the security problems.
The refugees don't just pose an internal threat. There are those who come to find work, and they work for less, leaving many Lebanese without jobs. Not all of the more than 1 million Syrian refugees entered Lebanon from here. In the first years of the conflict, many people were using illegal smuggling routes because they wanted to avoid Syrian army checkpoints. That has now changed. The Lebanese and Syrian armies have managed to close most of those illegal routes. So this crossing is a lifeline for Syrians who for decades were able to come and go freely. But for Lebanon, it has now become a defense line to protect itself from who's on the other side. Sana Khudr, Al Jazeera, Masna'a border.